Hey everyone, Coach Patrick here, Endurance Nation, representing the Endurance Nation here for you YouTubers out there. I'll stand up, show you our Ironman Arizona t-shirt from this year. Great event for all of us. Speaking of training, this podcast is all about the stuff that goes into training and specifically our approach and methodology inside the team around rebuilding our training plans. Every year we take our core training plans and we rewrite them. The process is pretty straightforward. The reason why this is important is because we are focused on relentless improvement. It's something that I believe is really important for athletes of all abilities, right? All levels, etc. Is finding opportunities where you can grow, learn, and get better. And that's something that you should be focused on individually, right? Like, what did I learn from last year? What can I do differently? For example, I tried all this cross training. I did a bunch of CrossFit. Like, I wanted to do weights last year. Did it or did it not help me achieve my goals last year? Yes or no, depending on that answer, you will either incorporate it, not incorporate it, modify it for this year, right? Very straightforward, very simple. That process also needs to happen with your training. And it's something that we do explicitly here inside the team, and not very many other coaches or groups or, programs do this. You'll quite often see training plans for sale online or outlines that have been out there for years. And I'm not saying that certain plans don't necessarily work, but I am saying that there's value in revisiting what worked and what didn't work, not just at a personal level, but institutionally as well. So if you've been following that same progression, that same plan over and over again, it's time to kind of step back and say, how am I going to do something better? So we don't just talk about it here inside Endurance Nation, we do it. And it's a lot of work. I'm not going to lie to you. It means, connecting with our athletes. It means getting feedback. It means processing answers. It means taking training plans and making changes. But the outcome is totally worth it. Being able to see our athletes improve year to year, but also more importantly, have a stake in the game. Understand that their feedback is what helped change this plan. Become a part of the solution, right? Not just someone who's an end user, but someone who's also a creator as well. And we really value people who are willing to share their experiences inside the team, regardless if you're super fast or not super fast. You've all trained, you've all learned from that training, you all have something to add. And that dialogue, that conversation inside Endurance Nation is what creates these plans. So let's talk a little bit about the process so you understand how it works. So at the end of every year, depending on the training plan we're doing and the timing of year, I will send out a survey to our members and say, hey everyone, whether you're a plan athlete or a team athlete, you use our training plans. What did you think? I'd like to hear, what worked, what didn't work, what would you change? What out there did you try last year that you want to add, add any comments you want, etc. And I'll get answers back, typically from about 20% of the team, which is about right. It's sort of the 80-20 rule. 20% of the team speaks for the other 80%. I always wish we had more. And if you didn't take the survey and were like, Patrick doesn't listen, I do. I read it all. It's crazy. I really enjoy it. It's an opportunity for me to look at the training plan from your perspective differently than just the numbers. I give you a training plan and then I go into our final search platform and I see you ran this many miles or you did this swim workout or this bike workout was good or not so good. That's helpful for me to see that, to help you in the moment. It doesn't help you so much from a macro perspective. And that's where this survey comes in, because you can say to me, hey man, I really love the training plans, but what you did in the winter last year with our bikes on Saturday in the out season program by adding more volume proved to be too much for my schedule. And this is how I modified it. And this is what I think. I take that into account and I balance that against people who said, I love the volume. I balance that against people who said, why don't we run more? I balance that against people who said, where's my swim stuff? All of that comes together and creates the backdrop from which I will work to improve the training plans. Along the way, I'm not alone. Your teammates not only help me with the feedback through those forms, but also they help me create workouts that we use online. So our training plan bike workouts are integrated with both Trainer Road and Zwift. And so when you are a part of the team, you can obviously download the workouts and then upload them to your Zwift account, or you can find them in our Trainer Road training plan library. Try and say that a bunch of times. You can load them up and just follow the workout. So if you're in week 2 of the full distance or Ironman distance plan, as some of you may call it, that workout's available online. You can get it, drag it in there, and do that workout on your smart trainer or on your bicycle or whatever it is and be super duper happy, okay? So I really am grateful. So I guess I want to kick off just by reiterating that I'm super grateful for everyone who's been a part of this, whether you've been just a contributor with your feedback, or if you're someone who's hands-on, really helping us to craft these things, to someone who's actually helping to generate individual workouts. It's a team effort, and I certainly couldn't do it without you. So, all right, let's talk a little bit about the plans and the specifics. And I always want to talk about the new stuff, but let me talk about some of the basics as well. So all of our training plans are available online. You can find them on the Final Search platform, which is our integration partner, which means that when you turn on your phone, you've got your workout data right there. You can record workouts from it. You can sync it with your Garmin device. It all works. You can pull up your phone and say, I'm supposed to run this far. You can say go, or you can go run that far, and then it all automatically updates and comes back into sort of our database hive of information, which we then use to help you make better decisions and get ready for your race. Working with Final Surge has been really a huge positive for the team. It's made our plans accessible to everyone, but it's also made them much more engaging. You know, people are more likely to do workouts that they can easily access. And I've definitely seen that play out here with our Final Surge integration. So of course, the new plans will once again be on Final Surge, and you have to be a member of Introspection to be able to access those plans, right? There's no more PDF plans for sale. I always get that question because we sold them back in the day. We don't do that anymore simply because it doesn't support the architecture upon which people want to use their training plans these days, right? People don't put plans on their fridge anymore. If you put plans on your fridge, that's awesome. I'm super proud of you, and I don't want to interrupt your cycle. You can certainly print things from Final Surge. One of the great elements they have is it's actually very printer friendly, unlike other platforms. But we're going to put them on Final Surge as well. That's just where they need to be. I need your data. I can only coach you as well as the data that you give me, right? It's not about the plan. It's also how you do the plan, and we work together. Okay. So this time around, I'm talking specifically about our triathlon plans and the full and the half distance. So what do the Introspection plans look like? So very quickly, I'll give you some macro perspective. We have 3 types of plans. We have a bike focus plan for long course triathlon. That's the full and the half. We have a run focus plan, and then we have a minimalist plan. The bike focus plan, like it sounds like, has additional cycling involved and additional cycling work at specific periods in that course of that plan. The run focus plan has a different set of run intervals. So whereas in the bike focus plan, you have run intervals, they're a little more benign to make room for the bike workouts and the bike gains that we're trying to get. Doesn't mean you're losing anything. It just means I'm not going to do all the things for you at the same time. I'm not going to give you the hardest bike workouts and the hardest run workouts and then all of the hard swim workouts and then say, if you survive this, you'll be fast, right? You can leave that to someone else. That's not how we operate inside the team. So run focus plans have a little more run frequency. You go, instead of just, sort of averaging 4 runs a week, in the bike focus plan, you'll average 5, sometimes even 6 runs a week in the run focus plan, and we'll be doing a little bit more work in the run focus plan as well, which means taking away a little bit of time on the bike, not a problem. And then in the minimalist plan side of things, that's what we really try and be specific for people and say, all right, if you're a time-focused athlete, how do we get you 1 training session a day, Monday through Friday, and then put the volume and the key work on the weekend so that you can be successful and not blow up your life or lose your job or what have you. Not everyone has the ability to get up early and then also work out at lunch and then or also come home at night and work out. They get 1 session a day. If you get your 1 session, what does it look like? That's what our minimalist plan is for. Many of our masters athletes will also use a minimalist plan as a baseline from which they start their training, simply because it's much more focused and gives room for recovery and growth as a masters athlete when you need more time. Okay, so when we think about our training plans from that perspective, we got 3 different types. When you come in and you start doing your workouts, most people start with the bike focus plan. In our 3-year plan for athletes, bike focus starts first, and that's the first plan we want you to go into because the bike is the easiest place to see gains and the biggest gains to be had. And it's a long-term project, so we might as well kick it off in year 1. Year 2 athletes, or even year athletes 2, 4, 6, 8, you'll be doing the run focus plan. I like to alternate the focus from year to year, so you're not always doing the same type of training. And then the minimalist athletes is obviously your choice from a functional perspective. Each of these plans has 2 specific components. I broke them up this year. In the past, we've had 20-week plans to get you from very, very beginning all the way through the race day. But it turns out inside Endurance Nation, most people just do the last 12 weeks because we're filling the earlier part of your season with smaller plans that are designed specifically to match your goals. So I may have you start off in the winter with our out-season program, you recover for 2 weeks in our swim camp, we go into the focus period of our season where I'll put in something like a bike focus block for 6 weeks or a run focus block for 6 weeks, doing specific single sport work there, and we'll come out of that and then move into your race prep plan. So you're only really doing the last 12 weeks. But for those of you who are super new to the sport, super new to long course triathlon, we do have an option for you, which is sort of our prep block. It's a 4-week block, and you can do it once or twice. So you can start building some volume and building some early familiarity with what it means to train for a long course without the intensity of the full long course plan. Excuse me. So we have those workouts as well, and those are available to you. So when you're inside the team, we focus a great deal on making sure that we do everything we need with your custom season roadmap to have you enter those 12 weeks and go to your race. But we also have this other plan as well, so I didn't want to leave that part out. So when you're inside the training plan, what does it look like? You've got Monday through Sunday workouts, and depending on the focus plan you're in and the ability level of each plan, you've got options. Now, what do I mean by ability levels? Well, that's right. Every single training plan, so if you're in the bike focus plan, every single workout has level 1, which is beginner, level 2, which is intermediate, and level 3, which is advanced workouts written in there. So if it has a run on a Thursday, it says level 1 says run 20 minutes, do this. Level 2 says run 30 minutes, do this. Level 3 says run 40 minutes, do this. And that way you can look at a workout and say, I know I'm a level 3 runner. I'm close to a 3-hour marathon. I'm super competitive. What am I supposed to do? And I can do it. You may be someone who's a middle of the pack runner. You're a 4-hour marathon runner, but you're feeling good this winter and you're prioritizing the run. And so you may not just do level 2. You may try 1 or 2 level 3 workouts in the course of a week, but do the level 2 workouts later. It gives you the flexibility to not only find the workout that meets your level of where you're at, but also to adjust that workout as you go through the course of the week. You may be able to do a level 2 bike on Tuesday when you start off the week, but by the time you get to Thursday, it's got to be a level 1 bike because you're tired from Tuesday and Wednesday work before you get there. It's great, right? You have the options inside our training plans to do just that. You can see it right there. Log the work. I see what you log. We're all set. Okay? So when you think about a basic week, each of these 12-week plans is broken out in a way that allows you to do the critical work when we want you to do it. So critical work in the bike focus plans. The bike focus plans start off easy with an interval session midweek and then 2 workouts on the weekend. So we start off with some interval work and then we do our quality work on Saturday and then our tempo work on Sunday. That allows us to maximize our training time as we get into the year and really think about what it means to put our weekend time in a space where you can be successful, because that's where we get the most training time. As you move through the course of the plan, starting in the 4th week of the training plan, you switch to doing 2 interval bike works during the week, Tuesday, Thursday, and then we have 2 bike workouts on the weekends. So that's where we start adding in that additional cycling, right? So all of a sudden you're finding yourself in a space where you're doing interval work, recovering, and then going right into the weekend and doing that longer ride followed up by another tempo ride, depending on the week. This allows us to create an opportunity for not only growth from a strength perspective midweek, but also add some endurance at the end. Along the way, you'll have a couple key workouts. You'll have challenge workouts. We'll go out there and we'll recommend for 1 or 2 weekends in the course of your training plan, you go out and ride super easy, but super long. Go find a new place, go find a century ride, go find longer than a century ride, get out, have fun, and do just that. And then of course, we'll also have our race simulation workouts where you'll come in with a race plan that you've developed using the protocols that we have for you online. And then you go ahead and basically set things up so you can be successful from a training perspective by tying your training directly into what it means to be successful on race day, by making those workouts actually mimic one another. I've got a cat and dog fight going on down here. Belle, get out of here. Belle, get out of here. Go on, get out of here, Bella. Go on, Belle. Go on, Belle. Belle, go on. Get out of here, Belle. Wow. That is one possessive cat. All right, let's see if we can keep this rolling. All right, so that race simulation workouts are really important as well. And then the last 2 weeks, we essentially taper. So across the course of those 12 weeks, you're gonna build up, get stronger, do specific work, and then taper. And of course, you've got the long runs and all the other work that goes along with it. In the run focus plan, very similar layout of the bikes in terms of starting off slow and then building up mid part of the year. But from the run perspective, you're gonna have a 12-week progression, starting with faster runs in the early couple weeks in the interval period, and then moving to more tempo runs in the bulk. So 5 weeks of speed, 6 weeks of tempo. We're basically gonna be training you to run at your target run pace for the race, be it a half or a full distance. And that's what's gonna allow us to be successful over the course of the run portion of your race, which is the focus here. So you'll continue to do the bike interval work that we've always had, with some modifications, of course, for this year. But now you're gonna be specifically targeting this interval session, which has been designed and set up for you to be able to maximize your run potential in a way that still fits in the context of your week. You'll have your long runs. Of course, we have our split long runs that we start off with, making them 2 a days, morning and evening, so we can make the longer run more adaptable. We've got our Saturday morning pre-bike runs, our warm-up 20, 30, or 40-minute runs to get that done, more quality running than just tired running. And we save that bike to run brick until later in the plans. And then finally, we have our minimalist plan. And basically, the minimalist plan takes the best of both worlds and allows us to put them together. So you spend less time training, but there is a slightly higher level of intensity across the plan because I've taken the quality workouts from the bike during the week and the quality workouts from the run during the week and put them into a single plan. Because you're only doing one session, that means you can do, eventually when we get into the plan, a quality Tuesday on the bike, a quality Wednesday on the run, and a quality Thursday on the bike, or as close as we can with quality. Mondays and Fridays become more lighter days, swim days, recovery days, and then we have our weekend with the volume as a counterpoint to the quality work you're doing during the week. That allows you to be successful by fitting those workouts into your schedule, but also continue to build the training stress over time so you're building the fitness that we need for you to be successful by the time you hit your race. You'll still peak, you'll still do a lot of volume in the core weekends and the final weeks of, I want to say 8, 9, and 10 of your training program, of your 12-week program before that 2-week taper. It's all written out there for you, but this is an opportunity for us to not sacrifice our goals from a fitness perspective simply because life hasn't dealt us the cards that allow you to do all of this long-term training. And I'm really pleased about these plans. I think this is something that's very unique to Endurance Nation, and many of our athletes use them and are successful as well. And then a couple other things, just talk about the plans quickly so you do understand some of the new workouts we have for this year. Not only the run side that I mentioned earlier, we've got some swim bike breaks, which I think are really important. One of the things that long course athletes, particularly full distance athletes, struggle with is being able to ride their bike numbers after a swim, after a long swim workout, being able to handle nutrition. If you and I eat breakfast and then half an hour later go for a long ride, nutrition isn't a problem for us for an hour, hour and a half on the bike. But on race day, after an hour or hour and a half swim, nutrition has to start right away on the bike. So let's create those conditions in 2 key workouts during the process of your build and have you get into a place where you can not only execute your nutrition plan, but you can also start riding your bike at the fitness that you have, even though from a perceived exertion perspective, your brain is telling you, you can't go on like this. It's just not gonna work. You're too tired. But you know you can because you've done it in training and you've got the numbers on your watch, on your computer, and your power meter that tell you that you can do this. It's a mind game. We're gonna help you break through that with these key training sessions. We've added in, we of course have our functional strength programs that you can always overlay, so you can install a 12-week plan. On top of that, you can install a 12-week strength program or install additional swimming. It's all there for you as well. Speaking of swimming, we did make some changes on the swim as well based on our athlete feedback to give a little more bandwidth for people to be able to process the longer swims without so much intensity. And so we do have some longer swims that are more self-directed in terms of intensity and should hopefully provide a nice counterpoint to some of the more focused quality swim workouts that we have that are interspersed throughout the plan. Overall, I'm very pleased with these plans. I think it's a nice turn back to adding some quality, being really mindful of your time, incorporating some of my lessons learned on the run, and some value that we've grown together as a team on the bike as well. Again, all of these plans are available online through Endurance Nation. When you become a member, you are automatically integrated with a Final Surge training program, which is part of our platform, part of the cost. And we'll set you up with those training plans as we build out your season. We'll start your training and we go from there. These plans are essentially the template upon which we start to customize your training and your experience. And I want you to know that we take a lot of pride in making sure these plans are not only well written, but they're updated every year. And I think you'll find them very powerful and very useful training tool as you strive to find your goals in the endurance space, whether it's an ultra running or cycling or triathlon, whatever it may be. The plans are here. The team is here to support you, and we're excited to see what we can do together. All right. Thanks so much for checking us out. It is January, so the seasons are kicking off. So don't hesitate to come in and create that membership. We got some specials on the website over at endurancenation.us. Those of you on the team, let's load up those plans. Let's get to work. If you need help moving plans or changing out the old plans, putting in the new ones, just let me know in the forums or on the support button on the website. I'll be happy to help you out. Thanks again, everyone. I'll talk to you soon.